Today, from Seattle, Washington, it's Week 15 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks taking on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at Lumen Field here in the Soto District of Seattle. These folks love their football in Seattle. This was the scene a moment ago as the home squad came out of the tunnel, and it was just absolutely deafening in this building. They're set for football, so are we, as the Seahawks get set to match up with the Cincinnati Bengals. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Here come the Seahawks. Time for that offense and quarterback Russell Wilson to go to work.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on first and second down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Now Wilson. And this will be incomplete.
No receivers open, so who's forced to put that one into Puget Sound? That's a great job defensively blanketing those receivers, and ultimately, a smart idea by him just to get the ball out of there.
Flushed out right. And he nearly got the first himself, but it appears he's going to be about a yard or 2 short. Able to pick up a dozen yards there on the scramble, but not enough. 4th down. Here's Mitch Wishnowski now. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. This will be fielded at the 17. It's a 47-yard punt, but they did give up 10 on the return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Bengals on offense, and here is Joe Burrow ready to lead them at quarterback.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
The former 2nd-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. 2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10. Now it's Burrow. He's got his big tight end. That's Hurst. And he is going to have a Bengals 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Oh, I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there, as that's batted down and incomplete. To throw again on second down. Burrow, they'll set up the screen here to Mixon. They'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. So, Charles, first drive here, little safe completion underneath, maybe get some rhythm, get your feet wet, so to speak.
I agree, and I like it because it's a lot like a basketball game when you're getting started and you pass the ball around so everyone touches it early and gets involved in the game. In this case, it's not just dumping it to a back and he's able to run with the ball, but you get your offensive linemen involved because they get to get out and run and hit people in the open field. Everyone getting their feet wet early.
And it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And he almost made it, but just short. Finally out of bounds, right down around the goal line. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
Mixon. And he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon punching it in from a yard away. And the Bengals are going to take a first quarter lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. That time a 9-play drive. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything? And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. So problems with errant passing continuing. Remember, he threw 2 picks in the loss last week, and now another here in this first quarter.
And sometimes, partner, this is the result of a quarterback who's simply trying to do too much. Feels like he's trying to make up for what he did last week, and he can't do it all on one throw.
And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7.
On that play, as you saw the route start to develop downfield, I got the sense that maybe the run would set up for him, and he took full advantage of it and got a big gain on a busted play.
They'll give it to Mixon. And he bowls his way into the end zone for a Bengal touchdown. Joe Mixon with his second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Bengals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So 2 drives, 2 touchdowns here in this first quarter, and he's got both of them.
Well, he's certainly setting himself up for a big game here, and I think if the play caller doesn't get in his own way, they should keep riding him the entire way of this game. Until the defense proves they can stop him, that's what I would call.
McPherson now for the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
The numbers on the ground for Carson last week, 13 carries, 56 yards.
And, partner, I thought it was a lot of fun for us to be able to sit in on their film session with the offensive line. We saw how they blocked it up last week to pretty good success, and we see what their game plan is for this week. They expect that defensive front to be someone they can move.
On third down, Wilson. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And for the moment, this will be a first down. But we have a marker on the field. Let's see if this stands. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
From the gun on third down, Wilson. Now he'll let it go deep left side. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. It's a big play there for Seattle. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. They'll run the screen with Carson. And he spins free. He'll have a first down inside the 10. Touchdown! Chris Carson with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Seahawks able to make this a close game again. PAT up and good by Rosas. And that'll cut the lead down to a touchdown. A drive there of just 4 plays. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. Last week, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. We were talking with him on the field before the game. He said simply, I was in a groove. He obviously was.
And I think he's been a little modest about that, being in a groove. That's a big-time game right there. And I think he feels like his entire team is coming along with him because they're creating spaces and holes for him to run through. He's making people miss, running through tackles. They are locked in a big way and confident about this game as well.
And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. And they go play action now. Burrow. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 37.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Mixon with a first down carry. And some room to roam now.
You know they pay me.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Jonah Williams, former first-round pick, the guilty party.
Here we go. Hey, Can.
After the penalty, it's Mixon. There he goes inside the 30. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 79 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half. Seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage, but every one of these RPOs, if you do it right and they look the same, whether it's handed off inside or the quarterback keeps it, That allows you to fool the defense so often. And in this case, fooled them with the inside run.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Bengals are able to grow their lead. So what a first half that he has had running the football. That now 3 touchdown runs.
And I would anticipate that when they get down in the red zone, he's going to get more chances as this game goes on. And I think that the guys blocking for him are going to ask for him to get more chances. They like the rhythm they've developed.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And it's now 21-7. That drive goes 80 yards in 6 plays. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
And that is not going to get it done either. Once again, he's stopped behind the line by this Bengals D. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now Wilson. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And the Bengals are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. They'll hand it off here. This is Mixon. Jordan Brooks on the tackle.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Burrow going to give this to Mixon. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up. On 3rd down, Mixon. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
And now they will throw it with Burrow. That's the tight end Hurst with it. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. This offense, Charles, we've talked about how well they played all season, sitting now at 13-0 with a finish line for a perfect regular season. That's in sight. Some of the media this week were pointing back to the 07 Patriots. Of course, remember, they finished the regular season unbeaten, but they were tested multiple times in that final month plus.
Yeah, with something like 4 of their last 6 wins.
And he's going to lose a yard or two, taken down behind the line. It'll go into Brooks as a sack and a loss of a yard, but more importantly, it leads to 4th down. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. So on 4th down, off goes Burrow. On comes Evan McPherson for the Bengal field goal. From the left hash, this from 37. McPherson's kick is good. And that'll push the lead up to 17. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They force the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Dancing to his left. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down. 2nd and 10. Wilson. That's caught by his tight end, Gerald Everett. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. From midfield now, here's Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 45.
Go time, baby.
And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 from Bengals TD. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but if the ball's in the air, they treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
And McPherson on for the extra point. And the lead is now 24. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. And we will get another look at Seattle's offense. And following the pick 6, and they had decent field position and throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him and they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. And this will go to Carson out wide. Gave a glimpse of his power that time. And then brought down at the 30. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Again, Wilson. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. From the shotgun, Wilson. That's going to be complete to his tight end, Everett. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. To throw again is Wilson. Left side complete to Lockett. And the Seahawks are going to have a 1st and goal as he'll be taken down at the 7-yard line. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop him with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Throwing is Wilson. This will be caught at about the 6. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Second down and goal. Wilson. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish as it's time.
And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. Taking it about the 1. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Bengal offense on their way out as we look at the playoff race in the AFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that number 1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, it's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that number 1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through. And I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep...
That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And the Seahawks are going to get the football here at their own 23. Well, pretty much everything went their way offensively in the first half, but now an interception on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
As we know, the key to everything here, don't get careless with the football. The problem is you've got to stay aggressive as well. So where's the line between being aggressive and attacking and being overly aggressive? I think they just crossed it on that one.
That's a big letdown defensively. They had him stop behind the line, but the face mask going to bail the offense out.
And the hand does not have to be up there for too long. Just a little bit of a grab is going to be enough to get the call and the 15 yards against them.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Working the middle here. That's complete to Everett, the tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Called it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. From the gun, it's Wilson. They'll lock him with a grab over the middle. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, and he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. That's to the tight end, Colby Parkinson. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
On 1st down, it's Carson. Big hole up the middle, and he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Chris Carson, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Seahawks are able to cut into that deficit. So the call's made by Sean McVay. They're going to go for 2. Wilson going to throw for it. Flush to his right. And he will get into the end zone to cut the lead a little bit further. But it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a 2-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the 2-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples to throw out a ball game. There's a great example right there.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Bengals drive about to get going. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Now Joe Mixon. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Running left, it's Mixon. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 180 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Burrow looking to pass. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete. And those two just have been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
And he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon taking it in from a yard out. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that pushes the lead up to 23. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Seattle again getting ready to take over offensively. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot.
And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Sam Hubbard in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. This is Carson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Seahawks on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Here's Wilson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. They stop it for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. Did they maybe play that too safely on 3rd down? I know you don't want to just throw a ball blindly downfield, but that didn't help them a whole lot.
I think they probably said if it's open, take the shot. If not, get something safe because we do have 4th down to try and pick it up.
Breaks through the contact. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and out will come the offense as they take over. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Now, after that last play, there's a Bengal down on the field. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Again, it's Mixon. We'll check on his status when we get back. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. They'll run on 1st down. Mixon. And he's going to be met at about the 43. In on the tackle, Kamoko Toure. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. A handoff, running left, Mixon. And he's going to get this pretty close to a 1st down as the tackle is made at the Seahawks 37. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he's got the 1st, but we also have a flag on the field. And they're already walking backwards. That's on the guard, Alex Kappa. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. On 3rd down, Mixon. Mixon with a 1st down and more. And he'll be taken down at the 26. 217 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They go play action with Burrow. Being chased out left. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free. Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. Here's a handoff to Evans out of the gun. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. They will throw on 1st down with Burrow. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That catch good for only a couple.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line. But once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down. Now Burrow. That's to Chase. He's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Jamar Chase, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. The Seahawks again now ready to take over on offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. There's Wilson to throw. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
To throw is Wilson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 38, and his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. CD, this defense, man, at this rate, they're just having fun out there right now.
And normally with this type of a lead, if you're a starter on defense, you're saying, hey, let the other guys play. But with this going on, no one wants to come out of the...
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. McPherson on for the point after. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now. And if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. Meanwhile, Wilson's throw into the hands of his receiver, Guyton. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now it's Wilson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Carson. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he is down at the 48. A pickup of 4 that started at 148-yard line and ended at the other. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. From just shy of midfield, Wilson. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Wilson. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Mike's 50. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Throwing again here, Wilson. his man on the out route. And he'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Dumps this one off to Carson. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll make it 2nd down. One last shot for Wilson. A pass underneath for Carson. And the Seahawks are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Bengals, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, their playoff hopes take a hit as they drop to 7-7. And they will be back home next week for a date with Washington. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.